Hi, it's Ramon Scott for Tony'sPicks.com. We provide winning information from our expert team of handicappers every day here at Tony's Picks. You can use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all of our premium pick packages, including mine, on Monday in Major League Baseball, WNBA, international soccer, and more. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all premium pick packages. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Hey, let's go to the WNBA for the action here on Monday. Start with the Fever Dream. That's right. Indiana is going to take on Atlanta, and the East playoffs are heating up. The playoffs are heating up in general here of the standings currently. We know it's one big standings group, but still you have Indiana here on the road. They're a 2-point favorite against the Fever in this one. Indiana's 2-1. So far out of the break, they're sitting in pretty good position. If they just keep up what they're doing right now, they can make the playoffs, continue to win important games. This is a pretty important one. It's a tough one. They're on the road as a favorite. They're lost by 10 points at Minnesota. They didn't get the money in that one, but they looked good in the other two games so far out of the break. Atlanta's undergone a complete transformation with the addition of some key personnel here returning. Jordan Canada returning to the lineup. Ryan Howard, healthy. That frees up Alicia Gray. She's really been hot over these last few games. She's been having a real good season. It's just that Atlanta's been so bad. So they really put themselves into a tough spot. Doesn't look like Atlanta could get there, but if they just start winning games that they're supposed to win, they'll give themselves a chance. This would be a big step to beat a team like Indiana that's ahead of them here in the standings. So I'm going to look to Atlanta here. Indiana won and covered both games back in June. Both games did go over. I would think that could happen here too in this one, even though maybe the trends kind of point to the under here. I don't know. This one could be a game where, look, Indiana plays pretty well at home. They're definitely still turning heads to a certain extent. Their push is on right now. Like I said, they're in good position, but Atlanta can still salvage it here. And I believe that the difference in Atlanta right now, it's not like they've just come out of a break here and kind of got lucky with their 3-1 record so far out of the Olympic break. It's been the addition, the health of the team, quite frankly. And I think here against a team like Atlanta, where they probably match up pretty even with, I don't think they're 3 games behind them or so in the standings. And maybe the trajectory still shows Indiana as the better team here, but I'm going to take Atlanta to win this one. I'll grab a couple of points here. I think it's 1.5 or 2. Give me the Dream over the Fever at home on Monday night. All right, next up, we're going to have the New York Liberty taking on the Phoenix Mercury. In this one, you have the Liberty on the road, a 5-point favorite, total about 163 here. New York lost a game. That's breaking news. They lost last game to Connecticut to snap an 8-game winning streak. 5 of those wins were by double digits. They're just really looking good here of late. Phoenix, not too bad here, 3-2 out of the break. They beat Atlanta 82-80 on Friday. Did a nice job there after losing to Atlanta the game prior. Interesting for Phoenix is they play the Liberty here. They play Minnesota after that. They play Las Vegas after that. So Phoenix has a little bit of a tough schedule here. They're in pretty good position. They'll keep it rolling here. The teams have met twice this season. Phoenix won here in June, 99-93. Maybe that's a surprise that score was so high, considering these teams, it was 81-78 back in May for 159, but these teams are trending under here big time of late, but I think it's going to look more like that first matchup. Yeah, it's later in the season here, but with Phoenix at home, the Liberty, they're not under a lot of pressure here they want to keep winning certainly, but I think the game just suits more to the type of flow that maybe New York needs to be in here against Phoenix, quite frankly. You look at the way they lost that game to Connecticut. I don't know if that's the type of game they need here against Phoenix. I think Phoenix, the only real way they're going to be able to maybe beat the liberty here and stay in the game is to go ahead and play it up tempo here in this one. Why get bogged down tonight? So look, this is a 163. I know these teams have been going under, but I'm going to take the over in this one on Monday night. I don't. Mr. Trend doesn't have any trends to give you necessarily on this one. It pretty much has been hardcore unders here of late for both these teams. But again, I just looked back at that last game, Minnesota here. It wasn't the last time. I mean, the last one was a 99-93, as I said, back here in June. So I think the game's going to look maybe not 192 points, but I'll take it over 163 here in this one. All right, and last up, we're going to take a look at the Washington Mystics taking on the Seattle Storm. And, well, this is it for the Mystics. It's go time now if they're going to have any chance here. They've gotten a little bit healthier here of late. They played a little bit better here. These teams just met last Tuesday. It was 83-77. Seattle got the win at Washington. Now Seattle here nearly a double-digit favorite, and the total 160.5. Seattle's 0-5 against the spread in their last 5, but 4 of those were on the road. Seattle does look to me like they're really strong at home, and they really got to fight through it a little bit on the road despite all their successes this season. Big for Washington has been Brittany Sykes. She had 28 in that last game. Washington defeated the Sparks 80-74. They covered 5.5 in that game. They had lost 5 straight before that. So Seattle last played on Tuesday, and they're getting Gabby Williams here back with the team right now, and I think that's going to be kind of a big thing for this team moving forward. I mean, she was a key part of the France team at the Olympics. So that's kind of a big addition here. It's a pretty big number, but I think Washington, I think if any team is going to be the first to kind of have to wave the white flag here this season, it's going to be the Mystics here. Seattle's won all 3 meetings this season. They won here 101-69 in the previous meeting. Yeah, Washington was down on their luck a little bit back then, but maybe this is just a tough matchup. Seattle's covered 9 of the last 12 games at home, their last 12 games at home, and 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams, including 5 of the last 7 here. I'm going to go ahead. This has been a runaway spread. I can't maybe look to it as a premium now, but I would think it's got more of a chance to be a double-digit win for Seattle than it does a Washington cover here in this one. So I'm going to take Seattle. I think they're going to have their way. Actually, as I said, that last game, 101-69, it might not be that big of a blowout, but I think we're going to see kind of the same thing we saw in that one. All right, well, that's going to do it for me here on the WNBA preview here for Monday. Don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out the handicapper tab, and you can find the handicapper of your choice. Click on their handicapper profile page. That's how you get signed up. I've got my 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, and year-long passes, but also up and running right now, NFL full season. We're just couple of weeks away now. Unfortunately, we got a week of no pro football, but you can pick up my NFL all-season pass for just $5.99 over at Tony'sPicks.com and use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Get all my NFL plays for the upcoming season over at Tony's Picks. All my premium plays are in your pocket. So check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off all premium pick packages. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott.